Welcome to another edition of the Tiger Men's Lacrosse Report. I'm your host, Spiro Maricas, along with the head coach of the Tigers, Sean Nadlin. And Coach, the Tigers with their first home conference game this year on Saturday afternoon as you took on Stony Brook. And a game that, with 4 minutes to go, looked like you had it in hand, but the Seawolves never gave up. You come away, though, with the 9-8 victory and now 3-0 in the conference.
We like to make things interesting for sure. On the back end of that game, we kind of held on to win that one. Happy for the win, but not necessarily happy how we had to, how we did it. But again, just being able to get out there against a CAA team and earn one. Obviously, a lot of credit goes to Stony Brook for staying in the fight. Being down 3 goals with less than 2 minutes, and a lot of that was on us. But they put us to the fire as well. But again, being able to get a conference win is always great.
Luke Downs named the co-defensive player of the week again, and both goalies I thought played very, very well in this game. So 9-8, not a high-scoring game, but the defense had something to do with it on both sides.
Yeah, both goalies played really well. Luke, I think, early on in that game really allowed us to kind of stretch, our lead a little bit. Not that we really had a big lead, but really shut the door on a couple of really nice opportunities that they had, getting our, defense the confidence that, they needed to play with. But their goalie, no doubt, played well. I feel like we made him look a little bit better than, maybe he needed to. Gave him some easy ones, center mass right in his stick, and could have had better shot selection as far as where we shot the ball on cage. So again, that's something that we're looking at this week.
A lot of times, coaches will take a victory like you had and say, this really is the best of both worlds because we got the win, but I still can keep everybody's attention because we did some things wrong that we have to correct.
Yeah, that's a perfect case in point here. And it was defense I thought played pretty well. Again, going against the CAA preseason CAA Offensive Player of the Year, he proved that. Walked away with 5 goals in different ways. So he was a handful to begin with, but I thought overall we were pretty solid defensively. Offensively, we know we were off. It was an off day. It wasn't 1 or 2 guys. It was the majority of our offensive guys just not in rhythm, not working hard off the ball, not dodging with conviction and being able to really put pressure on their defense. Their defense was smart. They kind of packed it in. Made us have to operate a little bit more on the perimeter, but we didn't do enough to earn good opportunities and many of them to then put in good spots on the cage. So definitely a lot of lessons to learn from this, and the guys had practice understanding that and really came out focused.
All right, the first goal for you guys in conference play is to qualify for the tournament. The top 4 teams make it 3-0. You're off to a great start to do that. This week you take on a Hofstra team that comes in. They're 1-2 in the conference. They just snapped a 5-game losing streak by beating Monmouth in overtime on Saturday, led by Madsen, who's leading them offensively. But they're a team that can present problems. They've lost a lot of close games. Now that they got a close victory, that might be their impetus to get over the hump.
Yeah, they're a skilled and talented team. They know what they're doing at the faceoff X. They can hurt you there. They got good offensive players and play different roles. And they can hurt you off a 2-man game. They can hurt you off ball. They can stretch you. Defensively, they get after you. They'll 10-man ride teams. So again, they're a dangerous team. They push transition. So there's no doubt this is a team that knows how to win games. Especially just a tight one against Monmouth this past week.
And if you look at their overall stats, they're taking more shots than their opponents. So even though their record is not great at 4-6, because they do win faceoffs, they're getting the ball and shooting more than their opponents.
Yeah, and those guys, they can shoot. So again, you got to do a good job, being able to challenge those shooters, play good team defense, making sure that we're doing a good job limiting their high percentage opportunities.
Is there a sense that you have to stress to your players that this is a good team coming in on Saturday? Because your players look at the record, 4-6, 1-2 in the conference. This could be a cakewalk.
at this point, with our week of preparation, we really haven't shifted to kind of focusing on them. So I haven't seen if the guys, felt that way or not. I don't think that will be the case. We got a good team that understands what it takes to work and prepare. I think a lot of us this week is focusing on us and our preparation to kind of, especially offensively, like we talked about on the front end of the show, how to get back to really playing confident with purpose, and finishing off opportunities, when we have them shooting wise. But we'll definitely understand what Hofstra can do and how they can, how they can hurt us and make sure that we're ready to combat that.
It is nice to be 3-0 in the conference, though, isn't it?
It helps. It helps.
So that'll do it for this edition of the Tiger Men's Lacrosse Report. Glenn Smith and I will have a call for you on Flow TV and TowsonTigers.com. High noon on Saturday at Johnny Unitas Stadium. Come on out, watch the Tigers as they try to get to 4-0 in the CAA. So for the head coach of the Tigers, Sean Nadlin, I'm Spiro Maricas. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, go Tigers.